that you have to put it back on when you get out of the water.
Absolutely. So staying hydrated and sunscreen are two of the most important tips that we can give y'all with this heat here. It is just hot outside. Here's a look at the state of Texas right now. It is quite toasty just about everywhere, including us here in South Texas. Feels like temperatures are well above 100 in multiple places across the state of Texas. It feels like 105 in Corpus Christi, and that's relatively mild to what we've been seeing the past week and a half. We've been seeing temperatures closer to 113 like they are in Laredo and Del Rio. We've got 224 out of the 254 counties in Texas either under a heat advisory, which is the orange color, or an excessive heat warning, which is the pink color here, and that includes us in the coastal bend. A lot of us under an excessive heat warning until 9 o'clock this evening, as well as tomorrow. They've already been issued again, but what's different is instead of starting at noon tomorrow, both of these are going to start at 11 and run through 9. So this is the longest time frame that we've seen so far. They have been starting at noon, going until 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it's going to be starting at 11 and going until 9 p.m. So this is bringing up our total number of consecutive days of heat advisories to 17 and our total number of excessive heat warnings to 11, when in the past couple of years we've seen 2, 3, maybe 4 total for multiple years in a row. So very hot weather is continuing, especially tomorrow. Lots of sun, so that sunscreen going to be really important tomorrow. Temperatures up near 100 for our afternoon highs, except right along the coast. That's where we'll find temperatures right along 90 into the upper 90s, and then hotter the further west that you're going. Here's a look at forecast heat indices, or that feels like temperature. Going to be back up into the 110s, pretty up there for us here in Corpus Christi as well, right under the 120 mark. And the further north that you're going and further west, where there's a little bit less humidity, those lower heat indices will be present. Here's a look at forecast highs and those heat indices for the next 7 days. We're going to see still some potentially record-setting high temperatures this week, not just 1 or 2, but I've got maybe 3 to 4 different days where we could potentially get up near those record high temperatures. Add the humidity on top of that, we're going to get those feels like temperatures in the 1-teens. However, it does look like maybe they're going to start to go down just a little bit, not by much, but maybe signs of a little bit cooler weather to come. Here's a look at the upper level pattern, this big heat dome or high pressure, whatever you want to call it. It's been sitting over us for way too long, and unfortunately it's going to continue to sit over us through most of next week. It will scoot over just a bit, but it's gonna blow up to a lot bigger than it is right now, keeping our temperatures in those lower 100s and upper 90s. The one good thing that comes from that big high pressure, it keeps us quiet in terms of the tropics. We've got the remnants of Brett in the southern Caribbean right now. That continues westward, but we do still have Tropical Storm Cindy here. It's about as strong as it's gonna get with 60-mile-per-hour winds. Cindy expected to continue on this northwesterly track between a jet stream here that's being forced over to the eastern United States thanks to this high pressure. That's what's making us hot. It's going to be squished between that and this big high pressure over the Atlantic. The wind shear from that jet stream is essentially going to tear Cindy apart as it continues to move forward. You can see it's just going to continue weakening eventually into a weaker tropical storm and eventually just a tropical depression or remnants like Brett is right now. Some of those remnants may try to reform as it nears Bermuda, but that's just something for us to watch. We are completely spectators for the tropics right now. What we are watching for us here is that excessive heat warning for tomorrow, 100 for our high. Very, very hot weather continuing. Also pretty breezy, and while that makes the heat index feel a little lower, the humidity brought in by those winds makes it go right back up. Brian.